81-year-old Andy Nelson was never one to sit around. At 16 and a half, he forged his mother's signature and joined the U.S. Navy to fight in World War II. When normal sailor's duties didn't suit him, he joined the elite force called Frogmen, forerunners to today's Navy SEALs.
You had to be a good swimmer, which I was. You had to be lean and mean, which I was, and stupid, which I was, so it all helped.
He proudly displays his old uniform, decorated with the Bronze Star for Valor, and a Purple Heart he earned in Okinawa from a grenade wound. For years, he's volunteered on the USS Yorktown, now a museum docked in Charleston. Even with type 2 diabetes, he managed to walk nearly every inch of this ship, telling her story and talking about his own part in our country's wars.
Andy never thought twice about climbing up and down the hundreds of steps on this ship. But then he noticed he was slowing down. At first, he thought it was age. As it turns out, it was something much more serious.
I noticed my toes were starting to get discolored. I couldn't feel things. I would stick something in and just jab my foot. I couldn't feel anything too much. And I didn't think too much about it until it started going up my leg. And I started getting really black toes.
Being the tough guy that he is, Andy ignored his symptoms. He didn't even mention them to his wife Phyllis, who's a retired nurse.
He never complained, he never said anything, until one evening he was sitting at the chair and he took his socks off, and I just happened to glance down for some reason, and I see his feet.
Phyllis took Andy to the emergency room. The doctors there sent him immediately to vascular surgeon Dr. Edward Morrison. What he saw was not promising. Andy had virtually no circulation to his feet, and gangrene had set in. He explained to me that 3 arteries in each leg supply blood to the lower legs and feet. In Andy's case, all of them were totally blocked.
Not a wide open artery with blood flowing in it with a big open lumen.
This is normal.
Normal artery. He is totally occluded from here down, right and left legs.
For an active man like Andy, the doctor's final analysis was devastating.
What did Dr. Morrison tell you?
He said, I hate to tell you that, but there's no easy cure. It's double amputation.
How did you react to that?
Very bad. It's almost like getting hit with a hand grenade again. And worst thing in the world would be then an old parasite just relying on someone else, everybody else, to help you.
Andy and Phyllis tried to imagine the life that lay ahead of them.
I just said, Lord, you know that for better, for worse, for sickness and in health, to death do you part, I know you'll give me the strength to do whatever I have to do.
And I felt the same way. I just felt, God, give me the strength to go through this. Get me through it, because you have everything else. I have no reason to doubt that you won't walk with me.
While they and hundreds of friends and family members prayed for Andy, Phyllis says God gave her a word of knowledge.
I knew that his legs weren't going to be amputated. And I told a friend of mine, and I said, there's something that I just feel a total peace about this.
Phyllis began to notice some changes.
I started seeing some color and some less of the black. Every one of his toes were totally black, and what Dr. Morrison says was in the stage of gangrene. And I saw them clearing up.
At the next office visit, there were signs of circulation and feeling returned to Andy's feet.
They stuck the needles in the bottom of my feet, and I yelled. I felt them. I hadn't felt that the week before.
There was no black in his feet, no black in his toes, circulation going, they were warm.
When I got dressed and walked out of that place, I floated, and they said my mouth was hurting. I was smiling so much and laughing and waving to everybody. Oh, it was God, what a great feeling.
Dr. Morrison says there's only one explanation.
It was a miracle. Humanity did not heal this wound. I can tell you that. Technology failed this man.
Andy regained full use of his legs. He exercises regularly, and he's back to telling war stories to visitors to the Yorktown. Now he and Phyllis both have a story to tell.
I want to tell people the story about God's glory. God gets all the glory. We do nothing, And he does love us so much that he even, went to the cross.
It was such a gift to get back. And suddenly I'm walking on my own 2 feet again. And every morning since then, it's been over a year, every morning when I get up in the morning, the first thing I look down and say, thank you, God, thank you so much.